What's going on, guys? SimplyPops here, back at it again with another jailbreak tweaks of the week. You guys been absolutely on my back with this one here. Alright, so this first tweak, as you guys can see, this is called Complicated 2.2. It's been recently updated to support the latest jailbreak. So iOS 13.3, you can be able to add complications onto your lock screen on your iPhone. So it brings the Apple Watch complications onto your iPhone, so you can customize it in real time. So I can change the battery widget into something else. So we have the mail, we have the phone, we have the rain, precipitation, and the chances of rain. And you can even have another row too on the bottom, which is cool. But this is my setup. I have the temperature, so it's the current temperature outside. You have the high and low. You have the weather conditions, the battery of this iPhone, and I have my AirPods battery percentage. Very useful, very handy to see what's going on. Now there are some settings to configure, but it's not really necessary. You can change the number of rows, so you can add another row if you want, and you will need the respring. So I'm going to respring row. So as you guys can see, this is how 3 rows look, but I like 1 row just because of the simplicity. It keeps the minimalistic of the lock screen. And yeah, it works very well with your notifications too. Now next up, this is a iPad tweak. We have better multitasking, so it's going to allow you to multitask with any iPhone app or any app on your iPhone. So as you guys can see on the video, sadly I can't even show you guys because this iPad is running iOS 13.3.1. Can't downgrade, but you guys can see the idea. You can slide over any application you have and have multitasking. So this is how it should have been day one, but if you have an iPad jailbroken, you can finally accomplish that. And look, the settings app, you can do exactly the same. Cydia is going to be a little wonky, but hey, your sources and everything works. But anyway, next up we have a tweak called Central, and all it is going to take the last icons on your home screen and it's going to center it. So it's going to be a little bit more neater, a little bit more organized, so to speak. So you guys can see Cydia and Check Rain is centered, not to the end. If I go into the next page here, you guys can see I have some more apps in the center. So it gives it a new look, a fresh new look on your iOS device. Even works for folders too. So your folders are going to be centered, and even one app. So you can see it's just a center. Now, not really that much settings to configure. You just have a kill switch and you have a change folder layout. Now, next up on the list, we have a tweak called BigPipEnergy, and it's going to allow you to resize the picture-in-picture window to any size you want. But before I even get into that, you will need to have a tweak that's going to enable picture-in-picture on your iPhone. If you have an iPad, you don't need no tweak to install to enable picture-in-picture because you have it natively. But BigPipEnergy is just going to let you resize this window, no limitations whatsoever. So you can make it humongous, big, no matter what the size is, you good. Now this might not even be handy if you have a 5.8-inch iPhone, just because the screen is a little smaller. But if you have an iPad, 12.9 especially, this is going to be a handy staple tweak. And by the way, the tweak that I use to enable picture-in-picture on my iPhone is called iPadify. So it's just going to pop it into a picture-in-picture window and you're good to go. You can surf the web, you can go to settings. Next up, we have a tweak called Yessir. Now Yessir is going to basically redesign the pop-up window. So as you guys can see, it looks totally different now. Definitely a more neater look. Let me get another pop-up window. So yeah, let me show you guys a better example. So yeah, you guys see the difference. It looks so much more cleaner, minimalistic. I see Apple redesigning the pop-up window on iOS 14. So you can enable dark blur, enable for alerts, or you can enable for action sheets. So we're going to turn off the dark blur, see how that looks. So this is the light blur. Me personally, I like the dark blur better. But yeah, that is Yessir. Now next up we have screenshot actions, and all it is going to give you more options when you're screenshotting. So if you tap on the window, you could tap on done. You're going to have some options down here, but really the only option added is just upload to Imager. So this is cool if you want to send somebody a screenshot link. So you want to quickly, send somebody a link, you could do that. Just to give you guys a quick comparison, this is the stock iOS 13. You just have saved photos, save the files, and delete screenshot. And as you guys can see, you have upload to Imager. So that's the only action I see. If you tap on upload to Imager, it's going to completely upload the screenshot. It's going to copy the link to your clipboard, and then you can paste it onto somewhere. Boom, you have that link. So now when I tap on it, it's going to be that same screenshot that I took. So it's going to be shareable. Now next up we have a tweak called switch colors, and it's going to allow you to change the colors of the toggles. So you guys can see instead of green I have it blue. If I go into switch colors, you can change the toggle colors. So yeah, you have the whole entire color spectrum. Let's make it red. So you have the off color too, so you could change that color too. Of course you could change the value of it, but I'm gonna make that yellow. Then there's no respring required, so I'm just gonna kill that app. And yeah, there you guys have it. So and you have the num, so that's really the num to change. And then boom, you have it red and you have it yellow. So switch color is a very simple tweak, but it's definitely effective if you want to highly customize your device even further. So yeah, just showing you guys the toggles work system wide. Now next up on the list we have a tweak called Prysm, and it completely redesigns the control center for iOS 13. So as you guys can see, it's like an iOS 14 style. If Apple ever redesigns the control center, it might look like this, and it looks completely beautiful. Of course you could use 3D touch. I wish there was a way where you can make this the other way. So yeah, so it's still in beta. Here's one thing cool. If I play media, this bar right here is moving. So as you guys can see, that bar is moving as the song progresses. Is moving. So yeah, you guys see that? That is really cool. That's something else. Now it would be nice to have ColorFlow 5 supports. Yes, all your toggles work the same. You can still 3D press them or haptic touch. And yeah, you're good to go. And you even have your battery status right there too, as you guys can see, your battery percentage. Next up we have a tweak called Amandus. Now technically this is an old tweak. It came out on January 17th, but it's basically redesigning your Apple Pay sheet, so it's gonna look like this. So something modern, something that I see Apple doing. So why take up the entire display when you just need a small portion of Apple Pay? Easy, you can still see your background, and you can switch your cards just like that, and you authenticate with Face ID. And if you have Touch ID, it's gonna say Touch ID. This is a really beautiful looking tweak, iOS 14 style. Now next up, I had to share with you guys my favorite tweak, ColorFlow 5. Just been updated to support iOS 13.3. So as you guys can see, Yessir is taking in effect. So yeah, so we have after hours, and all it is just gonna adapt the album art cover, and it's gonna adapt it to the UI. So let me just show you guys some examples. Alright, so let's just browse through the album art. So yeah, RP to Pop Smoke. As you guys can see, you guys get the idea. It just looks like you want to play music. Like, I want to play this album now because it has beautiful artwork. Yeah, I mean, look at this, the yellow matching with the yellow text. Beautiful. This is really one of my favorite tweaks. And as you guys saw earlier, it works well on the lock screen, and it works to support complications, so you don't have nothing to worry about with that. Yeah. Oh, this is gonna look nice. Yeah, you can change your resizing, so you can make the album artwork larger, or you don't have no resizing. So let me just show you guys what that means. So this is how it looks now. So it's not taking the entire lock screen, so it's just taking that little window. And also this works well with Spotify too as well. Next up we have a tweak called Dead Ringer. It's just gonna relocate your ringer. If you pay attention, it just put that right there on the notch. And of course it's free. Alright, so next tweak we have DarkPapers, and DarkPapers is a fantastic jailbreak tweak. This is going to basically darken your wallpaper or change the wallpaper dynamically if you enable dark mode. So you guys can see we have the daylight on my wallpaper, and I enable dark mode. Now we have the night version of that wallpaper. If I go into the settings, all you gotta do is just go into the regular wallpaper settings, and then now you're gonna have some new wallpapers on the bottom. So there's no separate settings to configure. You have the macOS Mojave here, so it's just gonna change. Really cool. This one here, you have on Stranger Things, so you could change that into something that's darker. But what's even cooler, if you combine DarkPapers with Lights Out, another tweak, this is going to enable dark mode if you have the environment dark. So if it's dark right now and then it's light, it's going to switch automatically. So this is really cool. So I'm hiding the sensor, so it's using the proximity sensor to indicate if it's dark or light. So right now it's dark, and then it's going to be light. So let's say, for example, you're in the music application, it's going to be dark, and then it's going to be light. So it's going to automatically enable dark mode if you're in a light environment. Now this is a tweak called Runaway. It's automatically going to keep on checking for your network speed per second. So you guys can see I'm on kilobytes per second. I have really crappy internet right now. I mean, yeah, so if you're into megabytes, it's going to change into megabytes. This is per second, so every second is testing your network speed, and you're going to see it right there on your, by your clock, right next to the notch. Next up, we have a tweak called No More NC Time X, and basically it's just going to get rid of the clock on the today view. I always thought that was a little unnecessary because we have the time right there on the status bar, but yeah, so it's going to remove that unnecessary clock, and you can have full of notifications here. So as you guys can see, I have more room for all my widgets, my subscriber, my lights, my weather. Next up, we have a tweak called Any Key Trackpad. You guys know the annoyance of the iPhone 11 or newer iPhones. They got rid of 3D touch, so now you have haptic touch. So you have to press and hold the space bar in order for you to move the cursor. But with this tweak, Any Key Trackpad, you can now press and hold any key, and it's going to enable the trackpad mode. So this is a staple tweak. So you type it in any text, you can easily move the cursor using any key. So you're gonna just press and hold it. Oops, we did it wrong. Just press and hold, and it's gonna just move the cursor. Now this one here is for all my hardcore jailbreakers. We have RepoFinder. You guys know finding tweaks sometimes could be a little bit of a challenge because you have different repos, different tweak names, and this and that. This is gonna help you find that repo right here. So RepoFinder, see all the repos right here. And if you want a repo that you want to add, you just tap on it. It's going to launch Obsidia, and it's going to let you add in that source. So no need to copy and paste and press and hold. Just everything is right here. Now this also works for Cilio, Zebra, and Installer. So you can tap on your installer, and it's going to automatically launch that installer just like that. So I don't have Cilio, so I can't show you guys that. Now this one here is called OneHand Wizard, and this is a way better reachability than Apple's. So I'm gonna enable reachability. It brings the entire user interface to a more reachable level. So this is gonna be easier in the hand. So as you guys can see, I can easily press all of the buttons without shimmering my phone up to the top. So this is very, very easy. As you guys can see, you could double tap to get out of that. You also have some volume controls here on the bottom. So yeah, so you can increase the volume, lower it down. You even have some more options here. If you tap on that, you have screenshot, lock, notification center, control center. You can also increase the size of your viewfinder here. So you can increase the size just like that. It just makes the usable area smaller, so it's easier to press the icons or the actions, whatever the case may be. And yeah. And guys, there you guys have it. That concludes my jailbreak tweaks of the week for iOS 13.3. If you guys did enjoy, I'd appreciate it with a thumbs up. Make sure you guys subscribe if you're new around here with notifications on. And I apologize if I sound dead. It is 3 o'clock in the morning. I just had to give you guys this jailbreak tweak, man. Get you guys off my back. You guys see the time? Yo, what? Look at the time limit on this. I didn't even realize. Wait, I'm gonna leave that. Now, by the way, I created my own wallpapers. I'm gonna drop these on my website. I'll throw a link in the description. This one here was my first wallpaper attempt. I created in Procreate. This one here is another one, another one, another one. Yeah, it's really dope wallpapers for your iDevice. Ooh, I can't believe I just designed my own wallpapers. Like, that's just insane. Using the iPad Pro with Apple Pencil, of course. That is shopsimplypops.com. Show your support.